Looking back at the early to mid 2010s, it really was just a different vibe. Like between all the gorillas and elections and water bottles.
Now, the Diet Coke bottle is the bottle flipping equivalent of hard no.
The world of entertainment was truly thriving.
Meet Smiler.
We had stuff like Disney basically having a second renaissance period with Judy Hopps, the MCU reaching its absolute peak while the Snyder fans insist it was the other way around.
Why did you say that name?
And the whole Ghostbusters 2016 debacle.
They're making Ghostbusters.
However, something that I don't think gets remembered as often is just how much nostalgia bait was around this time. And yeah, it hasn't really gone anywhere, but during the mid-2010s, companies were absolutely obsessed with the 80s. Simply because of that one indie show with the girl who got her big break from the Electric State.
I took the cord.
God fucking America!
Flop and Flotsam, what's that?
Y'all remember when Steve from Stranger Things was in that one Amiibo commercial?
A new challenger approaches.
You're going home in a box!
Amiibo!
But between all the NES classics and the Pac-Man mugs over at the Walmarts, we had a movie. A movie that tried oh so desperately to appeal to the iconic 40-year-old men who wanted to relive their old childhoods, and they thought, fuck it, Adam Sandler. All leading up to 2015's Pixels. A movie that's only really remembered as a random laughingstock time capsule from a bygone era, and also the fact that it had a really funny theme song. I thought, let's take a look and see if this thing's even worth the time of day, and whether me having to look at Cubert pissing was worth it. Here's my look at Pixels. So our film starts out with the Columbia Pictures logo again, and we also get our iconic Adam Sandler Happy Madison PS2 loading screen, which is huge. And speaking of, the young lad's riding on his tricycle, as we get to the summer of 1982 while the song Surrender by Cheap Trick plays. You know, that one from the ending of Guardians 2 where Drax fucking dies. But our man grabs his bestest friend, young little Kevin James, and these two little shits just get on their bikes and just steal some little girl's little innocent lemonade money. This isn't like some playful little thing. They just goddamn committed a theft. And the two make it over to the Electric Dreams factory or whatever, as we get our iconic title card. Hell yeah! And as Adam Sandler looks over at the kids playing Pac-Man, his eyes turn into Pac-Man, and Kevin James sucks and can't win Paper Mario Color Splash on the Wii U. Yo, why the hell the Paper Mario Color Splash box art ink looks so fucking delicious? And as he walks off in shame, he goes to see what Adam Sandler's up to, who was able to master Pac-Man despite the fact he's never played it before because he's just that much of a retro gamer. And as he moves on to another arcade classic like Cubert. Yeah, Cubert from Wreck-It Ralph. If I told someone in like the 2000s that Cubert would be in like 3 separate multi-million-dollar movies a decade later, they'd probably think I'm insane. And then I told them one of them was Ralph Breaks the Internet and they jumped out of a window.
What's the first rule of hero's duty?
No cuts, no butts, no
Fucking dick! But as he becomes the hot new bitch in town, Kevin James wins the claw machine, so now he can take his iconic Chewbacca mask to the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser to blend in.
And Rio McKeven of the Halcyon.
And as they meet back up, he tells Adam about the 1982 Video Game Arcade World Championship thingy, and then we just cut right to the event, okay then? That's like an SML video when it's like the 97th annual, like, toenail clipping competition, and it just so happens to be that day.
I'm a doggy in the streets, but a freak in the sheets. I said, yeah.
Also, these two just do not pay for stealing the quarters from that innocent child. What the fuck, man? What's next? They're gonna throw her into a locker?
I love stealing. I love taking things.
It's beatdown time!
And as we walk on in, we see this incel right here, standing and watching at this random screen, pretending to be bestest girlfriend and boyfriend with this fictional girl. And we see his only friend is his grandma, who has the yoo-hoo. But none of that matters because shit's about to hit the fan, as none other than mini-me version of Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison walks on in. And we get to see Dan Aykroyd, who, by the way, I'm just now noticing it, but he looks like an exact perfect blend of Bryan Cranston and Bill Murray. But he says that all the gameplay recorded at this event will be put into a spaceship and will be launched into outer space, so if aliens see it, they'll know Dig Dug exists.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your gaming!
And as our cool gamers get to playing, we see Peter Dinklage Jr. and Yoo-Hoo Boy and Adam Sandler Micro. And as it all ends, we have a tie, where our two main men are going to have to compete for the Donkey Kong World title.
Let's play
Donkey Kong!
And as the two begin, we get an epic "We Will Rock You" anthem, as the two of them lock into the Bluey video game, going for the high score. But eventually, over time, it all comes crashing down, and the unwanted child of Big Troll Guy from Infinity War wins it all, leading to Adam Sandler walking off in shame, and little Rizzler here tries to comfort him and asks about his celebrity crushes for a reason.
There's always Madonna.
How about Scarlett Johansson? What are we doing right now? We're too old.
Say that again.
Too old to order off the kids' menu.
I drink juice from squeezy pouches.
Yeah, so now we're back into the modern day of 2015, where Adam Sandler and Kevin James, I'm not calling them by their names in the movie, I don't care, they're Adam Sandler and Kevin goddamn James. They're talking about work and how they should take some time off of it, but it turns out that Kevin James is the president of the United States of A, as we see the TV and Mr. James getting all George Bush.
Mr. Paul, your blurt is under attack.
And he walks outside only to get booed and crapped on by the American public. And when he tells Adam Sandler that his skills are no longer useful in the gaming sphere, we get this, like, actually really good joke. I love this.
If you take away all the libraries, sir, how will the children ever learn to read?
However, then, just like any other movie at the 11-minute mark, we cut to Guam, where holy shit, they're doing it. And then Adam Sandler shows up to this innocent child's house.
Hello, I am a nerd.
And as the kid who looks like one of the FNAF movie ghosts lets him in, we find out that his parents are getting a divorce, yippee, but that does mean he gets a bunch of free shit.
Her name's Cinnamon with an S.
Here I come, I am cinnamon.
No, I could hear a little more. You got any pictures?
Adam, calm down, boy.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ, Adam.
Free Shavaka, dude.
As Adam tries to salvage the situation with the lady, and he tries to, it's not happening, bro. Retreat to base.
Fall back!
We cut back to the military in Guam, and the general of the army man says that they're under attack. And as all of our troops get ready, they find the alien scum. We cut back to Adam Sandler.
Games you played in an arcade. You would go there with your friends, listen to music, cute girls everywhere.
Pick a place and a time. He sets up this kid's PlayStation, which as you can see is displaying 0 games. And he says that back in his day, the kids would go outside to an arcade and leave their house because city folk just don't get it. And after he finishes, he heads on over to the iconic closet, where after entering, he sees the missus all sad and on the floor, crying because of her divorce and that she ran over someone with their iconic Jeep Grand Cherokee. And they just kind of sit there and do this awkward, like, hug maneuver thing, which is unknown to the council. The CEO does not know this technique. And we just cut right back to the damn military base. It was just getting real. And the whole wall gets destroyed with these giant infinite Sonic Forces squares, as this one guy who looks like Johnny Somali goes over to investigate and gets abducted by the Korean feds. He lost because he didn't have beard mode unlocked. And then right back to the closet with Adam Sandler doing his flippin' sexy emote. And they're both relating about how their lives suck and they're jealous of Kevin James' success. And Adam Sandler goes in for the kill but gets absolutely denied. So the two go into a very low-maintenance argument about each other or something. I don't really care. Where the fuck is Paperboy? With that, Adam Sandler gets called up by the presidents and told to get to the White House immediately.
Yeah, see, there you go. And one of these white kids over here gonna be president.
President?
Yeah.
So he tells Blondie McNosehair that he's gotta bounce. That is until he goes down the street and sees her right next to him. And they both follow each other into the Oval Office from Invincible. And she's granted into the White House to Sandler's dismay. And then they walk in, and then the lady is just not even remotely questioning, like, Best Buy Tech Geek Squad guy is allowed into the White House. And we get this iconic and awesome moment.
Somebody's more important.
And as Mr. James shows Adam his new gaming PC.
Free at last. Now I can finally get my revenge.
He's like, hey, I want to show you this top secret, like, government information. Like, I'm pretty sure we got laws against this. I don't think he's allowed to show Adam Sandler his hard drive. It says literally right on the Constitution, thou shalt not show Adam Sandler thine hard drive.
Well, 180 years and I'm 3 feet away.
And as Kevin James enters the mass panic room, everybody starts throwing out ideas on who attacked the Guam base.
I have a theory.
Yeah, so do I. Do you think Kevin James invaded Iraq in-universe? And then the Sandman barges in, and he starts explaining to the president's cabinet that this is definitely Galaga, and that Mario 2 is actually a version of a Japanese game called Doki Doki Panic. This is like an entire scene, I don't know, he's just rambling about Galaga for like 2 straight minutes. And Kevin tells him to get the hell out of his mall before he gets arrested, so he drives on out of the White House and heads back to base camp. But while he is driving, he gets a home invasion Mr. Nightmare moment.
Brenner.
And Josh Gad goes bumbling out of his van on the freeway, and as Adam's about to use his baseball bat to turn him into a puddle, Adam finds out that Josh Gad was about to Clorox storm his ass.
Why didn't you call me then?
The CIA has been tapping my phones. The Zapruder film has been edited. JFK shot first.
Most logical modern-day Star Wars fan.
Pick it up. Pick it
the time stones?
We're gonna kill you.
And as we go on to the Josh Gad basement, we get to see the shrine that he made for that fictional girl from the video game, as well as this awesome flip book he made showing his future. And as he hears his annoying grandma upstairs, he yells back at her. But I'm not gonna play the video of it, I'm just gonna play the audio with a picture of Olaf on screen, because it'll be funny.
Oh, what happened? Oh, I remember now. I'm trying to save the world from annihilation. Are you nuts? You cracker!
And as he reminds Adam Sandler about the old video game competition from when they were youngins, he tells him that just maybe that tape with their high scores was found by the aliens and was then used to send down extraterrestrial life to destroy us all in the form of fucking Diddy Kong.
Bernard, I spent the day on 4chan.
Yeah, I gathered that part. And as he plays the VHS, it magically got hijacked by the aliens.
And you don't want them to see you dancing around in your underwear for Lady Lisa, I get it.
No, that tape was burned 3 months ago.
What the fuck?
Using all different 80s stars like Ronald Reagan and Madonna in code in order to proclaim the aliens accept their challenge and they're gonna go to war. And that the humans have 2 lives left in order to beat them. And if not, their entire planet will be destroyed. Also, they took Johnny Somali captive.
That's okay. You can keep it.
And as our gang goes to the Oval Office to tell the president, as well as get Black Yoshi's parole hearing.
Mario, please give me another chance, folk, please!
They tell him that the next attack is gonna be in India tonight, and that he's gotta send his men or else people will die. But he's like, nah, I think you're kind of weirdos, and you all fell off. But then we cut to the Taj Mahal, and we see these 2 lovebirds. And right as this little goober decides to propose, we get a Pong attack, as the Taj Mahal from Lego is completely destroyed. And this guy tries to get a selfie of it, but it leads to the aliens abducting him as a trophy. And we cut back to America, where they're all going into the base. Look at that shirt. That shirt is so fucking cool.
Mr. Brenner have agreed to share their video game expertise with you and your team.
But you could have gotten, like, the Avengers level. You could have gotten JonTron, the completionist, Pro Jared.
It looks like he just got caught, like, stealing some cake when he wasn't supposed to. Hey!
It looks like he just got caught cheating on his wife when he wasn't supposed to. And as they enter the top secret Venom 3 facility...
Michael's a robot.
I can't do it anymore.
I like balloons.
What kind of crappy suit is this?
And we're shown that Cecil's boys in the lab have created a weapon, that which can destroy any and all alien artifacts with super accelerated light particles and stuff. And afterwards, we get to see the super epic Navy SEALs, who are the most jacked and intimidating men on the face of the planet Earth, but now they have to listen to Josh Gad for 2 minutes, as him and Adam go up and try to give him a pep talk, but Olaf just goes off on them.
You're gonna be thinking of me in your pants, you faggots.
And then after Josh has to be taken away, Adam decides to just be upfront with them, and he says that they've been training their whole lives to perform mental gymnastics in order to get Mario to jump over the barrel 6 times in a row and save Princess Pauline. And all the Navy SEALs get to play in their arcade one-up machines in order to train.
Very good.
Good pilot and mapper.
Jesus, down boy! And they all watch in awe as Adam Sandler is able to master asteroids. Epic skills that will be required in order to save the Titanic. But as we cut to Kevin James and his wife or something, I think, when his secretary lady comes in and tells him that the next battle is in none other than London. Dear God, we're doomed. And as the SWAT team invades all these kids who are playing soccer, the British government does what they do best, tell someone else that this is now their newly claimed land. As they unload all the weapons and the gang are ready for an invasion. As we get the scariest thing in the movie, the UK Prime Minister. As they watch some awesome content on the YouTube TV app.
Can you, like, guys go somewhere else? No. Go away. Mom! Stop!
Turn it off.
And as they prepare for battle, our gang are in way over their heads, as all these giant mushroom peg things start coming down from the sky, and our gang are not ready for none other than Centipede. And as it comes down, they all start hitting the middle and it breaks into a million hungry caterpillars, and the gang are doing so bad that this one guy just gets devoured, Jesus Christ. And as the Brit military man gets distracted because his tea is done, Sandler just swoops on in and grabs one of the light guns, and just starts kicking insect ass.
Land's End to John O'Groats! What the hell are you saying? I don't know!
Successfully destroying every centipede in the facility. And as wave 1 ends, the president is giving a harsh demand.
Let the nerds take over!
And as our 2 boys start kicking centipede booty, as everybody's working for the weekend starts blaring in the background, they all stay winning until Adam saves a dirty Brit from certain doom. However, one of the centipedes escaped from the soccer court and is now on a rampage like the movie. And Hotel Transyldrac jumps off a balcony and kicks Centipede ass again.
Who are you, mister?
I'm just a loser who's good at old video games.
Why that little boy look like Chris Chan? Oh, Jesus. And as we cut to a ye old pub like in Cars, but minus the Merida poster, the two morons from the closet are talking and drinking and stuff.
One time I drank 15 milkshakes at Denny's, so...
Being your average size is really nice. Hey, what do you say we go to Denny's for breakfast?
And Kevin James walks into the pub to get a comically large pint of beer, all Barry 63 mode. And the aliens interrupt to remind their crew they still are at a 2-1 disadvantage. However, they do hand off a trophy as a consolation, that being a duck hunt amiibo for the random granny in England. But President James calls Sandler and tells him that this is his calling, and that they have to prepare for the next battle pronto. However, they're gonna need some help. As we cut over to Guantanamo Bay, and as our gang enters, they're ready to bail out the completionist from jail. We see none other than Peter Dinklage in his little chains, who was thrown in jail because he forced Disney to have bad CGI dwarfs, so they banned him from life.
Gonna beat you like a drum!
And after Mr. Sandler and him don't quite get along,
Pick a game, I'll destroy you at it.
Well, I'll pick a game, all right.
they get to talking and Mr. Dinkelberg has a few demands. Like, for example, he wants his own private island, as well as a multitude of other things.
I don't want to pay no taxes, like, forever. I want to flash me a card that says I saved the world. I don't have to pay no shitballs taxes on the gum.
What in the Jesus Christ is he rambling about?
And I want a stealth attack helicopter, like they fly over the Super Bowl.
You got me an Apache helicopter!
Also, he demands that Serena Williams and Martha Stewart and Justin Roiland all meet him in the Lincoln bedroom. And they eventually come to a deal which allows him to leave this hellhole.
New York City.
Also, can we just take a minute to just mention that there's like a non-zero chance, if anything, there's a probable chance that Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison was just like directly based on this guy. Just given the vibe of both films, I'm pretty sure that the people who made the Minecraft movie saw this movie in theaters. That's just a straight vibe. But as we cut over to the Big Apple, we get Smurfs 2.
Smurfs in 3D.
As we see the Arcaders' new uniforms, which are really, really funny, and they have fucking one up on this side. As the gang show up and meet our respectable police commissioner, and as he shows off one of his men who came face to face with the beast, he says it's none other than Pac-Man. So instead of using the light beams, they're gonna need an inky, a blinky, a pinky, and a stinky, which government lady oh so happily provides. But they have an extra car that's gonna need a pilot, so they have the creator of Pac-Man, Professor Guy, or some I don't know his name, I'm calling him Miyamoto. And they all have some pleasant interactions.
I made your game my bitch.
What is, being a child?
What's the big fucking deal, bitch? Yeah.
As they all get sent out into New York, and we see Pac-Man about ready to whip ass.
Pac-Man's a bad guy?
But then, Shigeru Miyamoto is all sad, and he's like, why is Pac-Man killing innocent people? And that his Pac-Man would never do such a thing. And as he gets out of the safety of his vehicle in order to talk some sense into his son, he says the iconic, look how big you grow. And just as he's about to reach his hand out and make peace...
Somebody kill it, stupid me!
Mr. Ghost is great! Mr. Ghost is great!
As Pac-Man flees and they gotta go at him 3-1, and they chase Pac-Man as he destroys Red from Cars in an act of intentional manslaughter. And they chase him on down as they decide to split up, and Peter Dinklage is just magically teleporting to the other side of the map, but it doesn't matter because they all got Pac-Man cornered, knocking out one of his lives as our team celebrates, and Pac-Man happily respawns at that one guy's house.
Behold, I am Pac-Man!
What's wrong with you? Tim, what's wrong with you?
The f is that Andy Dick?
You've been hoodwinked, baby!
And as they're about to get him cornered, the unthinkable happens. As he eats a power pellet and now they're gonna die. And like Woman Lady was the one that was like getting them all in position and like calling demands. So like she didn't even know this. Like she's a fucking idiot. If Josh Gad dies and Frozen 3 gets canceled, that's on you. Guys, I'm pissed off. This random video upload I found from the Disney Kids channel with 13 million subscribers. They said Disney and Pixar's Frozen available on Blu-ray and digital HD. This is not a Pixar movie. This is a Disney movie. And after he goes after the Gad Master, he's gotta book it, as he starts getting back shots from the big-ass ghostly adventure, but he makes it out just in time to bail, but thankfully it allows Diggle the Squiggle to beat ass. But then Pac-Man respawns with one stock left, and our two remaining heroes go after him. However, Dinklage doesn't last long because he tries to Tokyo drift and ends up in that lake, like that one video I really like, where like the guy just like drives into like the other guy's car and just dives right into the fucking lake, leaving Adam Sandler as our final remaining arcader. That's a really good sentence right there. And as Pac-Man gets right up to a power pellet, Adam Sandler just starts reversing and talking in numbers, leading him all the way to the top of a parking garage. But he reaches a 10-second countdown just as Pac-Man's about to eat him, destroying him for the final time and saving the world and scoring it with the aliens. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this lady. And as he comes on out, he's met with fame and admiration and everybody loves him. But none of that matters because Josh Gad found something. That, of course, being Q*bert from Wreck-It Shrek-It.
We're gonna wreck it!
I don't like it. I didn't like it.
I always thought I might be bad. Now I'm sure that it's true.
Who's been given out as their second trophy, but at least this one's owned by the government and not a British nanny.
Can you shut up for 5 seconds? Shut up!
And as we're back to Base Island, Sandler's talking to another child as he watches him play on his epic Xbox Series S.
That's why you have your reset button.
Yeah, we didn't have those growing up.
I don't even, you had reset buttons back then, you don't now. What are you talking about? I can't beat Sonic 2 without save states. There, I said it.
Not again. I'm not strong enough.
Also, Q*bert's scared out of his goddamn mind because he didn't get his parents' permission before buying Grand Theft Auto 6. Also, by the way, I don't really get Q*bert's voice here.
Cheese balls! Jabalene, jabalene, jabalene!
Like in the arcade game, he just kind of made like bleeps and blurps and all that kind of stuff. And that's what they adapted in Wreck-It Ralph, like he doesn't speak English. Also, that weird fanfic they put in theaters. I just don't really know why they decided to give him this like weird high-pitched voice. I mean, I did extensive research in order to know if this was truly accurate, and it was not. Oh. And then as the little kid says to Sandler that he should go ask his mom out, then Q*bert dies. But she agrees to Adam's proposal and now they got a date. And we get to the ball episode of Daredevil where Kingpin's here and he's ready to go. Vanessa, I would do anything for you, even resorting to Sigma tendencies. And as our gang are all congregating in the safe room, we see Q*bert wearing a tie, which is very cool. But then Adam's talking to Girly Girl and blah, 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 blah. And as Josh Gad's about to start singing about summertime for everybody to hear, the two go outside and discuss the current pricing status of the Switch 2.
Hello, I'm here to see the Nintendo Switch.
And Kevin James brings up a screen which has a bunch of children dressed up as arcade. And they're all saying, wait, no, Kingpin, this is Kingpin standing up gift. But it doesn't matter because the feed gets cut off by Eddie Munson or something. And the aliens say that because they cheated, they're dirty and they're cheating cheaters and their planet is disqualified and they're all gonna die.
Disqualified.
So then Peter Dinklage tries to make his little escape and he gets caught by the random kid who grows up to be the guy from Miss Marvel. I forgot to mention that, so I'm putting that in here. It's funny. He's got a Funko Pop.
This is her, right here. A custom-designed Funko in her honor.
And he says he managed to obtain Peter Dinklage's old glasses, which have the Pac-Man cheat code for super speed implanted onto the lenses like Transformers 2007 Allspark location.
eBay.
Also, I thought this kid didn't know what the hell an arcade was, and he's just like a mega zoomer. How does he know what the cheat code is for the Pac-Man arcade machine from 1980 whatever? However, this does mean that Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison cheated his way to the top, but nobody cares as a bunch of commotion happens inside the ballroom. And then this old man's like, Adam Sandler, the video games are gonna rot your brain. But none of that matters because the small child gets abducted by Galaga and crap. And they're all just kind of sitting around in loathing as they realize that the entire planet is screwed. That is until Q*bert starts spilling the beans on the alien secrets. And Lady Girl says that they can enter the mothership, rescue Lady Girl's child, and then save Lady Girl's planet. And as we cut to Washington, D.C., where the alien mothership is ready to beat ass, and it starts destroying like literally every avenue of Washington as everybody is unequivocally screwed. I ever tell you guys my funny DC story? I was in DC like a few weeks before the election, and like I swear to God, I drove right by the White House when Biden was in there. And I swear to God, there was an ice cream truck right outside, like, parked next to the fucking White House. And then all the arcaders show up, and the Lady Girl magically has a suit. I don't know where she got that from. She didn't even take the oath. She can't do this.
I am Goofy.
I am Goofy.
I am Goofy.
Q, it's Tetris. But as the gang encounter a big old Frogger, they're about to die until it gets taken away by the zookeeper.
Can I get your order?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the baby backs and some fries.
And as they're all going to war, they tell Olaf to stay behind. And then this happens.
Sing a happy song. DJ Khaled!
That's me when influencer Smurf doesn't respond to the damn allegations. It's been months. And then as Josh Gad's running around, he sees good old Mario, or Jumpman, or whatever he is here. And that's it. That's all the Mario screen time. An entire movie about 80s video game characters, and fucking Duck Hunt gets more on-screen time than Mario. Nintendo just did not want this bitch to show up at any movies until The Secret Life of Pets people said they could. But as Josh Gad saves a group of younglings from a bunch of ninjas, he sees none other than his bride. His childhood video game crush who he's been wanting to be real for his entire days. Also, she's just like not pixelated for some reason. She's just like a real human. I don't know why. However, she does want to Deadpool kebab his ass. And as all the others show up below the mothership and Max Headroom approaches for some reason, he says that the boss wants to meet them all in person, so they all get beamed up. And meanwhile, Josh Gad is still fighting that lady, and he tries to reason with her and says that they don't have to fight, and that they can be the best lovely friends ever in the whole universe. And she's just like, yeah, alright, She doesn't say a thing in the entire movie. She's just like, yeah, she smiles. She's like, yeah, Christ, these guys gotta get better soldiers. They all keep betraying him. Wait, that's like Puggo.
Kids, meet the jerkbags I work with.
Yeah, then Scourge from Transformers shows up. Since he's gotta prove to the world that he's not a cheating Chester cheater or something. I don't even know. I don't even care. Mighty Eagle pissing gif. Yeah, Thanos then cuts his hands off so they can be made into Thor's hammer.
We do this everywhere we go.
However, now, we are at the pinnacle of society. This is the moment that every step of Hollywood's journey has led to. This is it. This is... Donkey. We see all the prisoners are being held where Pauline is in the game world. Guys, I just realized something while editing this. The soldier from the UK who got eaten by the centipede, like, he ain't here. That fucker's dead. Also, they say that the boss wants to see them personally. Is Donkey Kong just like their overlord or something? The aliens got that tape from space. They had a character select screen. It's like, oh, and Donkey Kong. Also, Cubert pisses. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
When I hit reverse, I can make him go back in.
Lisa Simsophone wants to go home. And as the gang try their damn hardest to get up the girders, they Jumpman their way through the Cranky Kong Bonanza Parade. As Adam Sandler's having a bit of trouble and is kind of crashing out, when the kid tells him that Peter Dinklage was cheating the whole time, and that none of it mattered anyway because the Snow White movie sucks dick. But that means that Adam Sandler is the Donkey Kong champion of the world.
And the Donkey Kong champion of the world doesn't need patterns.
That's a fucking tombstone quote if I've ever seen one. And then this becomes the most gas moment that has ever been put to screens. Sonic and Shadow going super while Live and Learn Blair's only represents a fraction of this scene's power, as Adam Sandler's climbing up the Donkey Kong girders while We Will Rock You Blair's. Also, Q-Bird almost dies and Lady Girl's gotta go back and get his ass. And as Adam Sandler swoops under Donkey Kong, he grabs the epic hammer, and we get the greatest line ever.
I've been waiting to do this since 1982.
And as they beat the Donkey Kong game and unlocked Funky Mode, the day has been saved and all the other Pixels enemies get destroyed and it ain't K. However, not all is well back on the ground.
We did it. No.
But all the gamers go back to the White House lawn as they all celebrate and the gang reunites. Also, Kevin James says that Peter Dinklage doesn't have to go to jail, but he does have to admit that Adam Sandler's the best at Donkey Kong. Good sentence. You are the best in the world at Donkey Kong. And as that chapter is ended, Olaf is sad again, and he's pissed because he's like, why does Q*bert get to stay here? And then Q*bert, for some fucking reason, he transforms into the girl and he kisses Josh. What the hell?
But no one else is weirded out by this? That was just Q*bert.
That's what I'm saying! They wanted his happy ending, but like, did they not think that this was fucking weird? And as Mr. President gives our gang a rousing ovation, saying that they are all world heroes and they'll protect the world from any future Sega Genesis related threats, and Adam Sandler's finally able to get some. And with that, Surrender starts playing once more, and Peter Dinklage gets a ye old text saying to look up, and you see goddamn Martha Stewart and Serena Williams in the window. Where's Justin Roiland? He had to bail. More like he needed bail. As he walks off, we get to see that Mr. Miyamoto's hand gets super glued back on as we get our ending title card. And then we get to see this film's awesome credit. However, we do have an actual post-credit scene where we get to see Josh Gad's house and they had fucking Q*bert babies. I don't want to know. We're done here. I'm done. There you go. There's Pixels. Jesus. I have never in my life seen a movie with so much aura and goddamn lunacy until the Minecraft movie came out. This movie is where Adam Sandler and Kevin James and Peter Dinklage and the guy who voices Olaf fight a bunch of aliens who are cosplaying as Pac-Man, Duck Hunt, and fucking Paperboy. I don't think I have ever in my years seen a movie where I believe that the writers were just high the entire time they wrote it until the Minecraft movie. Executives sat down, millionaires sat down at a boardroom table, and they said, yes, this. I mean, I kind of understand it from a business executive standpoint. Retro gaming just had its big boom with like the Wii Shop channel and all that. And they thought, let's get some actors that have been around for a while that middle-aged people know and let them have some good old fun. But I think the issue with this movie is that I can't tell who the hell it's meant for. Every joke in this movie feels like it deserves like an ironical laugh from like a soundtrack. Don't get me wrong, I was laughing for the whole goddamn time while I was watching this movie. But I'm not sure it's the reason that they wanted me to. They thought this was the hardest shit ever, and to be fair, it really is. I mean, it's not like the movie is, like, absolutely abhorrent. It has its moments, and I do think the plot was handled pretty creatively, all things considered. Though I do think it's really funny how we never, like, actually see what the aliens look like once. There was this weird part with Ronald Reagan, and, like, I'm pretty sure this is kind of what the aliens might look like when they're not pretending to be Madonna and crap. I don't know, the science has to come back on that. Put it into Michael Afton robot head guy. Speaking of, though, if this movie's good for anything, it's the visuals. It has a very consistent and well-done art style with the aliens, and I honestly kind of adore how they handled everything. There's concept art showing them trying to make everything, like, realistic and like all that and make it seem like they're actually just real creatures, but I think they quickly realized that none of them were going to jive together well at all. Also, what the hell is this thing? But I think the VFX still holds up perfectly well today. This was, like, right before that cutoff in, like, the late 2010s, where Hollywood just kind of stopped caring about innovating with VFX, and they just started to slowly normalize movies just having unequivocally shit CGI. But this one has a generally pretty good production value. I mean, they made the girders from Donkey Kong into, like, an actual set. This is wicked. Adam Sandler stepped foot here. And as far as the plot and the characters, I mean, it's alright. Like, I think I can kind of gather my views on the characters throughout the review, considering I just called them Adam Sandler and Kevin James and Lady Girl. But I mean, they could be a lot worse. Josh Gad's the weird conspiracy theorist. Kevin James is the big loser who's all serious. Adam Sandler's your loser, but he's an average Joe and he's a good heart, and Lady Girl's a lady. Also, I'm a little salty they didn't call them gamers instead of arcaders. That would have been heat. But by the way, why was there no crappy tie-in game for this movie? There should have been a crappy tie-in game. I'm pissed off. Could you imagine a Wii U Pixels game? Would have broken records. First Wii U game to sell 8 copies. I think the British Prime Minister was behind all the aliens. That seems like something they'd do. However, there is one thing about this movie that is absolutely fucking insane. I need to tell you this because I actually had no idea about this until making all this video and all this crap. So apparently, I'm not making this up, there was going to be a post-credit scene to the film, which ultimately got cut. And I'm not making this up, I swear to God. It was a post-credit scene which featured the Washington Monument, like half destroyed and all that after the film. And you see a figure on top of the structure. And as the camera zooms in, it's revealed to be fucking Mario. This was gonna be a post-credit scene to tease a sequel. Actually unhinged. This would have been the most ludicrous nonsense that would have been the most hilarious thing I'd ever seen. But we live in the timeline where this didn't happen, and I'm still sad about it after learning about it a day ago. They thought Q*bert Babies was a viable replacement. By the way, this was all revealed by the director of the film named Christopher Columbus, you know, like the guy from the Mayflower and shit. And like, he just says in the interview that it was just Mario, which, like, Mario was in the movie for 2 seconds and he was Jumpman pixelated. Like, would this be like the real life girl? Would it just have been like CGI, like standard Mario and overalls and stuff? I need to know the vision. Also, this guy was in full plans at one point to direct a FNAF movie. That would have been fucking amazing. Besides the movie, though, let's pivot into the music video because this is, like, Okay, so think about the Jennifer Lopez home music video as like the girls' toy aisle. This is the men's toy aisle. You got this shirtless guy dancing around with these two other guys, and they're going, game on, oh, oh. And they start playing clips of like Adam Sandler and co kicking ass, and then he's dancing around with Q*bert and Donkey Kong. And the best part is that this guy's name is Waka Flocka Flame, which is funny because it sounds like Waka Waka Pac-Man. Yeah, you know what time it is. The Pixels Play Along app. Yeah, there was this app you could download back in the day when it came out on digital, and you could point your phone at the TV, and you would like play along or something, and they'd have these little like games that show up, and you shoot it like the aliens when the fight scenes or something, I guess. It's a kind of just whatever, neat little idea. Still doesn't beat the Jeremy Renner app, but it's close. Bombshell, bombshell, there was a mobile game. Okay, so it appears to be like a very simple, just like tower defense game, and it seems to be sponsored by Dave and Buster. And you got all the characters, you got all the characters from, you got the Pac-Man guy, and you got the unlockable Lady Lisa. Bro, look at Pac-Man's flat ass, dude. I also found this advert, which was a collab with this basketball dude, where it's like him and Pac-Man playing basketball. And it's funny because they just obviously just took scenes from the movie and cropped Pac-Man out. Also, thanks again to that guy who sent me that awesome Wreck-It Ralph shirt from the Disney store in the Ralph Breaks the Internet video, because he came in clutch again with the goods and showed me this awesome limited edition Pixels Pac-Man statue DVD set. This was unironically based as hell because it's got him swallowing up San Francisco like the poster. Also, if you look at it, there's a tiny little version of the building from San Francisco from Sonic 1 of the good. I was also informed about this awesome billboard, and it's got Pac-Man eating the thing, and it's all 3D like my boys at it again. Also, I found this awesome shirt on eBay. Look at this. When I become president, I'm wearing this to my inauguration. Oh my god, they made the Arcader suit as a Halloween costume, Jesus H. Guys, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe so I can spend $2,500 on the authentic Josh Gad used light cannon from this movie. They have payment plans available. Sorry, babe, I couldn't pay the electricity this month. I had to make my payment on the Pixels gun, you know me. But the craziest thing I learned about my Pixels journey is that this film was actually based on a short indie film done by Patrick Jean, and it's basically just the ending of the movie, but in this very creative, low-budget scene. But for what it is, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's only a few minutes long, but it gets right to the point, and it's very neat for what it is. Plus, I had a way better idea where I had Donkey Kong doing King Kong on the Empire State Building, which would have been absolutely banging. Also, I found out that they sent Pac-Man into space for this movie. You know that, like, thing where they just, like, tie a weather balloon to some little toy or something to promote something? Yeah, they did it with Pac-Man for his 35th birthday with this, like, 3D printed Pac-Man with a birthday cake. And that about's the end of our little Pixel journey. Thank you for watching. This was really funny. I'm recording this when the goddamn Smurf trailer came out, and it's really funny because it came out like 2 hours before the Superman trailer. This movie cannot stop losing. I'm making a video about it when it comes out. I fully decided. And the good thing is, I'm sure this thing will be on Paramount Plus like 5 seconds after it's in theaters, because ain't nobody seeing this. Sorry, I'm deriving the Pixels video about Smurfs. I needed to echo my Smurf opinions to somebody right now. But yeah, let me know your funny little opinions about the Pixel Land. Also, important announcement about the Scarlet plush. Since I was informed by the manufacturer or Onage that actually they made 50 of them instead of the 70 required in order to get it into production. And right now it's at 47, so that means that there should be only 3 left for anybody who wants to get one. We turned that shit right on the table. I was like, yeah, you all need to go buy 1 billion of them. There's only 3 of you that can buy them now. So yeah, if you want that and don't want to miss out on the final 3, go do that, I guess. Also, thank you to my $15 patron, Nathaniel Glad Stolovoy. I guess that's a thing now. If you want me to say your name, that's a $15 Patreon thing, I guess. Blame Nathaniel, he started it. But yeah, subscribe right now or your ass is about to get Adam Sandler roll-off melted. And then Kevin James will sit on you.